ACCA September exam feedback. F5. Performance management. Students said, some tough MCQs this time around. Students felt they were more theoretical. Several PQs were disappointed that there was no demand equation or ABC questions. Overall, candidates seemed to feel the September test was better than June's, but then that would not have been hard. The examiner said, Section B contained 15 of the new style OT cases. The scenarios are longer, with 5 questions per scenario. This means the questions are more likely to focus on 1 or 2 syllabus areas. The 3 main topics in Section B were risk, budgeting and target costing. Students performed well in the risk and target costing questions. The budgeting questions were themed around flexing budgets, adjusting the original budget to actual activity level. The examiner stressed variance analysis is a key syllabus area, as is a knowledge of the basics of management accounting, covered in F2. F6. Taxation, UK. Students said, a weird paper, very different from the past papers, said one sitter. Another described it simply as interesting. Students seemed particularly unhappy with the MCQs, which one PQ said were very tricky. The examiner said, question 16 to 20 case covered IHT. The taxpayer had died having made a chargeable lifetime transfer within 7 years of death. The nil rate band of the taxpayer's deceased spouse was not fully used. Question 21 to 25 looked at CGT. The taxpayer here was the controlling shareholder in an unquoted trading company, with both the taxpayer and the company making disposals of assets. Question 26 to 30 covered VAT with the taxpayer commencing trading and registering for VAT. Question 31 asked candidates to look at directors' remuneration, tax, and NIC. Question 32 was the income tax question, looking at a taxpayer who was employed and became self-employed. Question 33 involved 2 unrelated companies and was the corporation tax question. The first company had ceased trading and the second had 6 months of trading. F7. Financial reporting. Students said, it was a tough one for many. This exam was, according to one PQ, all about performance and ratios, with nothing on gearing. The big debate was about which was the harder, question 31 or question 32. Our feedback is definitely question 31. The examiner said, the examiner was happy with the performance in sections A and B, but section C was a little disappointing. The exam team believes this might be twofold. Firstly, students are not giving sufficient time to section C. Secondly, they also believe students could have been thrown by the combination of interpretation and consolidation issues into one question, question 32. This is the first time this has happened, although the exam team believes the information given and the structure of the question should have allowed candidates to work a reasonable answer. F8. Audit and assurance. Students said, the ACCA has been accused by September's F8 sitters of getting its question numbers wrong. There appears to have been a bit of confusion over what students needed to write down in their exam booklets. Question 16, question 17, and question 18 becoming question 1, question 2 and question 3 respectively. Some students felt that invigilators wasted valuable time explaining the changes and it was all very unprofessional. However, on one notice board a PQ felt if students were distracted by such a minor problem they were just using it as an excuse. He said, if I got distracted that easy I would be distracted every time someone asked for extra paper or went to the bathroom. He felt students need to learn to zone out. The examiner said, candidates' performance was mixed for question 16, which covered the areas of internal controls, documenting systems, fraud, and audit procedures for revenue. Question 17 looked at the area of audit evidence and going concern. Again, performance across this question was disappointing in September. Question 18 covered audit planning, audit risks and responses and quality control. F9. Financial management. Students said, MCQs were generally okay, but some found them confusing and ambiguous. But that is the point. Students didn't like the nominal interest rates and inflation rates questions. The examiner said, candidates need to be more precise in presenting answers particularly to numerical questions in section C, says the examiner. All workings should be shown in this section and should be presented with the same neatness of presentation as the main schedule of figures. Some candidates are still trying to answer the question they think is there, rather than the one that actually is there. For example, when asked to critically discuss an issue, it is important to do more than simply list the methods relevant to that issue. A discussion, which may include examining the positive and negative aspects of the method, is what is needed here.